Hello again, everybody. So I wanted to go over some problems that you might have with the welder when you're welding, and I'm doing this so if you have trouble at home, you know how to fix it. Typically, most of the problems that you have will occur up here with the welding gun. The main thing that will occur that will frustrate you more than anything else is the welding wire will actually get fused to the welding tip. And the way that this happens is that your wire speed is usually too slow, and so the wire starts to scream back to the tip, and it welds itself a little bit to the tip. Now this doesn't happen really easily because the tip is made out of brass, and so brass and steel don't mix really well together. But when the wire welds itself to the tip, it won't come out of there. Sometimes you can use a hammer and break the weld off to get it off the tip. But sometimes that doesn't work, and the tip just must be replaced. And so to replace the tip, I just wanted to go over quickly how to do this. All you do is loosen it up and unscrew the tip. You may have to, if it's welded, you may have to turn the welder on. I should do this again. If I have the tip unscrewed and like that, I may have to put a little bit of wire out and then cut the wire off, or cut the tip off. And then we'll put some more wire out, grab a new tip. I'll put some extra tips in the bag, or in the box. I'll go over that tomorrow. Make sure that you have a nice straight piece of wire to put the tip on. Screw a new tip on, and you're ready for action. Before you weld, you want to have about a 1/2 inch of wire away from the welding tip. Okay. Now, if this shouldn't happen more than once. If it keeps happening over and over again, these tips aren't free. We need to figure out what the problem is. We can't just be going through 3, 4, 5 tips for each person. So, really, it shouldn't happen at all. One tip should do just fine. But if your wire just keeps fusing itself to the tip, don't just keep welding it. Okay, we can't do that over and over again. Okay. The next common thing that'll happen is in our nozzle, slag will build up inside of here. And if the slag builds up too much, basically the shielding gas can't come out anymore, and it won't shield our weld, and we'll start getting poor welds. So once in a while, you should take the nozzle off and take a screwdriver or something and just pull all the slag out of this thing if it looks like it's starting to build up in there. Now, once again, the nozzle's made out of brass, so the slag really doesn't stick to the brass or weld itself to the brass, but it does stick to it once in a while. That's about it. And reinstall it. Remember, install it so that our tip is flush with the end, or even just a little bit inside of it, like that. One of the most common problems when wire feed welding is students like to hold the welder too far away. And what happens is when you hold the welder too far away, the length of our wire gets to be too long, and the longer the wire is, the more resistance it has. The more resistance it has, voltage drops, according to Ohm's law, if you all remember that. And so when that happens, we don't get an arc anymore, and basically the wire just kind of starts gobbing itself on there. And so the optimum length for away from our piece is going to be about this 1/2 inch mark. We want to be right here. Actually, the closer you can get, the better when you're welding on something. If you're out like this, you're too far away. You want to be in like this. And one of the problems gets to be is you can't see the actual pull you're making, because from a top viewpoint, you're looking at it like this. Dina, would you mind panning out a little bit? So oftentimes when students weld, I tell them to start with their head cocked off to the side like this so they can actually see the puddle. Now you see me when I'm holding this thing. If you're welding just like this, holding it out here, your arm's going to get tired in about 1 minute, and pretty soon you're going to be all over the place. When you hold a welding gun, you want to hold with 2 hands, keep it close to your body. I myself like to steady my other hand like this so that you can keep it nice and steady. If you're just trying to do it like this, boy, you're going to wear out right away and you're going to have a tough time. Okay? All right, that's it for everything up here. You may have issues with wire feeding from time to time. basically what happens is we have a feeding problem here with the spool. A kink or something occurs in the wire. And so I'm going to show you how to deal with that situation when that happens. Okay. First thing, if we have a kink in the wire, we're going to need to take our nozzle off. I'm going to release this cover for this thing right here. And let's say our kink will usually be like right in here somewhere. So I'm going to start, grab the letters here. I'm going to start with cutting the wire off back here. Now you want to make sure that you're holding on to the wire. Okay, I'm holding on to the wire. I don't want to let it go, otherwise the spool will just cascade out, and then we have nothing but a big mess. I'm going to shove the wire through one of these holes and put a little bend in it to keep it in there. Now we're ready to deal with this wire. Now I may have to cut it off up here and pull this part back to get it so I can feed it. Well, usually when it's balled up in there, it's easy to cut because it's a major problem. After you have that cut off, then you're ready to get it out of. You have to take the rest of the wire out of the gun, out of the whole cord. So take a pliers, grab onto it. You may have to remove the knot. You'll have to remove the contact tip before you feed it anyway. So you may have to remove the contact tip. You're gonna want to remove the contact tip. You won't be able to feed it with the contact tip on there. Then we're ready to put new wire in here. So I'm going to grab my wire out of the roll here, making sure that it's nice and straight. Feed it into the roller and into our liner. And hopefully you have a little bit better luck at it than me here, because I'm failing miserably. Excuse me, Dina. Grab a pen here. There we go. Got into our liner, and then we'll put our bearing back down over the top. Throw that back up, and we're ready. And we can just use the gun to feed it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger. Looks like we're feeding the way we're supposed to. And we have a good demonstration of what could happen here. Dina, would you mind coming in closely? For some reason, we had a snarl in our wire when I was trying to feed it. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video here and get this fixed and figure out why the snarl happened. I think it happened because our wire caught on the diffuser coming up inside of here, but I will figure that out, and I'll be back with you in a moment.